Morning, good morning, Bix Weir, roadrunner.com with your morning horn of Z's, your sip of coffee. All right, let's talk repos. Big day for repos, tax day. Supposedly they need cash for this day. So ridiculous. But as we know from Friday, the Fed has opened the gates and flooded the liquidity. Today they were going to give $50 billion to the banks on a term repo that goes all the way out to January 17th. And everybody last week is saying, oh my God, 50 billion on a term repo? That just gets added to the top. Right now, our total count, including overnights, terms, and U.S. Treasury purchases, is around $424 billion. We're getting up to that 700 billion that we lent them in September of 2008. But the big news is this. The repurchase agreement was 50 billion. Everybody was blown away by 50 billion. Of course, they said at least 50 billion, which gives them unlimited amounts they can give out. But 50 billion was not enough. It was not enough because right here, 56.3 billion was asked for and given. So 50 billion was not even enough. That is crazy. The interesting thing to me was, yeah, you can add up the term repo and the overnight repo. That'll give you about 90 billion that was given to the banks. I thought the overnight would be more. I thought the overnight would have to jump even higher, but it didn't. Probably because there was no retirement of term repos. So it did make the bottom line jump to 424 billion we've given the banks tonight to stay afloat. So we'll see what happens. Probably the overnights are going to increase tomorrow because there is an expiration of let me see here, 12/17 of 17.8 billion, which is pretty small on the terms. So it is happening, oversubscribed by $6.3 billion on the 50. So 50 was not enough. And the rates are rising. If the rates keep rising, they are screwed. All right. Zero Hedge did pretty good explanation of what's going on. Fed's emergency repo operation oversubscribed as repo rates spiked to December high. Ahead of today's massive liquidity drain, according to some calculations, will be as much as between 100 billion and 54 billion in coupon settlements from last week's Treasury auctions and an additional 50 billion or so in corporate income tax payment to the Treasuries, which combined would be as large, if not bigger, than the September 16th cash transfer to the Treasury, which sparked the mid-September repo crisis. Last Thursday, the Fed announced a kitchen sink liquidity tsunami, throwing as much as 500 billion in liquidity backstops in the form of expanded and extended repo and term repo operations. That's between now and the middle of January. But they aren't tacking on top of that the POMOs, the permanent operations, which I do, because those are even bigger, more important. The first of these emergency repo operations was scheduled for this morning ahead of liquidity drain in the form of 50 billion 32-day repo, which took place shortly after 8 a.m. and was once again oversubscribed. It's not big enough. It's not big enough. And they talk about that Zoltan Pozar paper that predicted this. Not to mention Road to Ruta predicted this. But Zoltan Pozar said that's not enough. They got to go QE4 all the way. Probably will, but I don't think the 500 billion is going to be enough. One ominous sign, the overnight GC repo rate spiked from 1.5% on Friday to 1.69% this morning, the highest print since the end of November, and the clearest indication yet that despite throwing the kitchen sink of liquidity in the market, some dealers and banks are still having problems getting access to much needed liquidity. I would say hedge funds, mainly. Keep an eye on the repo rate over the next few hours for an indication if today's 100 billion liquidity drain will overpower the Fed's preemptive liquidity tsunami, in effect triggering Zoltan Pozar's worst-case scenario. We need a crash. It's the only way to get out of this hell. The banks are stealing money, creating it and stealing it for themselves every night. There is no way out of here other than a crash. The everything bubbles was created to destroy the entire monetary system. That's why they deregulated derivatives in the late 1990s. Alan Greenspan, Robert Rubin, and Larry Summers, the three horsemen. Greenspan did it to destroy the old system and go back to a gold standard. The other two did it because they're criminals. I know a lot of people think Greenspan's a criminal as well. He invented electronic money in the 1960s and 70s. He was the guy who screwed up Y2K, along with other people. But he blames himself in his book. I screwed up Y2K because I only put 2 digits instead of 4 digits. Yes, Alan Greenspan had a secret computer room right next to his Wall Street office, a door off to the left side. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to roadtoroot.com, look up Alan Greenspan, and you can find tons of information, the secrets that you aren't told. Everybody says, Greenspan, bad guy, Fed, bad guy. He was a market rigger from the 1960s that was hired because the bad guys were trying to take over our country, so he prolonged the game. Bush Sr. credits Greenspan for getting him out of office. I love that. Yes, the Fed has the power to elect presidents and throw presidents out of office, absolutely. Because they control the money. I care not who makes the laws if I control the money. Rothschild said that. Nathaniel, I think. Criminals, but they're going down, baby. This bubble is so damn big. You wouldn't believe it. A lot of other things happening too. A lot of Q drops. I go to qmap.pub, P-U-B, and a whole bunch of Q stuff. Is Q the same person as last time? I don't know. But I like what he's saying. Or she's saying. Adam Schiff. Adam Schiff was busted. Busted for lying to the people, and he came on Fox News and said, no, well, if I had known then what we know now because of the report, the IG report, dude, you did know. Nunez spelled it out in a memo. You got all the briefings. You just decided to lie and then throw up this phony impeachment game. This thing is blowing up in these criminals' face, which is good. They should be tried for treason, in my opinion. Treason. Punishable by death. It's not the only punishment you get, but that's the worst punishment you can get for treason. And I think Adam Schiff should be tried for a lot of other things. Especially what goes on with the Standard Hotel in California. Scary stuff. Anyway, I have posted the first 2 parts of the Ruda's timeline on the Road to Ruda in the private road section. Go check it out. The first one's about Apocalypse Now, and the second one is Silver Wars Grand Finale. The third one is going to be about cryptos. I'm still working on it because there's still a lot of things floating around in the crypto world. I don't believe that silver or cryptos will be allowed to run to their true fair market value until the old system crashes. They just won't be allowed. They don't need to allow it because they have the criminal exchanges holding them back. But I do have timing and projected some prices for cryptos as well. Anyway, you want to watch that? Go to subscribe today and join the Road to Ruda private road. You get 1 silver coin, the coolest coin ever, double strike with luster and each individually numbered. There it is right there. Ruda jumping up and down on the silver brick road. The cave of gold right on the side there. What a great coin. And you get a whole bunch of songs. 9 songs and 13 music videos with the bracelet. The bracelet. I don't know how many we have left, so this might be the last day to get the songs. It's on a thumb drive. It's one of those glow-in-the-dark bracelet thumb drives. There's 13 videos on there. Right there. All right, this is Bix Weir, roadtoroot.com. Talk to you later.
So we were out on the mountain range yesterday prospecting for little gemstones and crystals and whatever else you want to talk about.
Love the crystals, baby.
And Big says, you know, I kind of had this vision, weird thing of almost like an Indian lady spirit, like kind of helping us, guiding us, and was inspired to write a freaking song literally on the mountainside. He's like, I'm going to go over here for a little bit, guys. He's over there writing a song. So I come out here this morning, and I'm hearing him playing, and I'm like, holy shit, I got to go grab my camera and film this. Go for it.
Hi, Snippy fans. It's called Secret Treasures, or Secret Treasures Lost in Time. And it's got an Indian chant beforehand. I'm not Indian, so I'll butcher
Yeah.
it.
Picture the Indian, like an Indian
Picture
voice
the
doing it.
Indian.
Oh, it'd be phenomenal.
Mystic fog rolls in, spirit alive within the wind. An ancient woman, an Indian. Is this the body I once lived in? I hear her voice, she calls to me, describes an ancient mystery, a place where ghosts protect treasures lost in time. Seek your soul, so shall ye find secret treasures lost in time. Mysteries of where we came. History has all been changed. To find the opening, you must give up the past. Belief and faith are all that last. Says to me, I now must go. Your journey awaits above, below. You'll find the clues in time, and always trust your mind. Secret treasures lost in time. Secret treasures lost in time.
Holy crap.
Wow.
There you go.
I think I just filmed the music video.
You got all that on the mountain yesterday?